Hare Krishna. Unable to hear, Prabhuji.
Ashtottara Shata Sri Srimati's Divine Grace, अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की। ISKCON founder Acharya, BBD founder Acharya, savior of the whole world, Srila Prabhupada ki जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शब्द श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर श्री प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपिका श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिराज गोवर्धन की ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की मथुरापुरी धाम की पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की श्री नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की गंगा मैया की यमुना मैया की भक्ति देवी की श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री गौरांगी गंगेश्वर की श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा मैया की श्री श्री गौर निताय की ग्रंथरा श्रीमद् भागवतम की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। The third chapter, 24th chapter, entitled Renunciation of Karta Muni, text number 5. Please repeat. Maitreya Vacha Yati Sandesham Gauravena Prajapatihe Samyak Shraddhaya Purusham Tastham Abhajat Gurum Maitreya Vacha Yati Sandesham Gauravena Prajapatihe Samyak Shraddhaya Purusham Tastham Abhajat Gurum Maitreya Vacha Yati Sandesham Gauravena Prajapatihe Samyak Shraddhaya Purusham Tastham Abhajat Gurum।
Maitreya Uvacha Yati Sandesham Gauravena Prajapati Yakshadaya Purusham Tastam Abhajat Gurum
Maitreya Uvacha Yati Sandesham Gauravena Prajapatihe Samyak Shraddhaya Purusham Maitreya Uvacha Yati Sandesham Gauravena Prajapatihe Samyak Shraddhaya Purusham Maitreya Uvacha Yati Sandesham Gauravena Prajapatihe Samyak Shraddhaya Purusham
Word to word translation. Word to word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Maitreya uvacha. Maitreya said, Devahuti api also sandesham, the direction, Gauravena, with great respect, Prajapatihe of Kardam, Samyak, complete, Shraddhaya, having faith in, Purusham, three personality of Godhead, that's situated in everyone's heart. Abhajat, worship, Guru, most worshipable. Translation. Sri Maitreya said, Devavati was fully faithful and respectful toward the direction of her husband, Kardama, who was one of the Prajapatis or generators of human beings in the universe. O great sage, she thus began to worship the master of the universe, the supreme personality of Godhead, who is situated in everyone's heart. Purport. This is the process of spiritual realization. One has to receive instruction from a bona fide spiritual master. Kardamuni was Devavati's husband, but because he instructed her on how to achieve spiritual perfection, he naturally became her spiritual master also. There are many instances wherein the husband becomes the spiritual master. Lord Shiva also is the spiritual master of his consort, Parvati. A husband should be so enlightened that he should become the spiritual master of his wife in order to enlighten her in the advancement of Krishna consciousness. Generally, Stree or woman is less intelligent than man. Therefore, if the husband is intelligent enough, the woman gets great opportunity for spiritual enlightenment. Here it is clearly said, Samyak Shraddhaya, that with great faith one should receive knowledge from the spiritual master and with great faith execute the performance of service. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his commentary on Bhagavad Gita has especially stressed the instruction of the spiritual master. One should accept the instruction of the spiritual master as one's life and soul, whether one is liberated or not liberated. One should execute the instruction of the spiritual master with great faith. It is also stated that the Lord is situated in everyone's heart. One does not have to seek the Lord outside, he is already there. One simply has to concentrate on one's worship in good faith as instructed by the bona fide spiritual master, and one's efforts will come out successfully. It is also clear that the Supreme Personality of Godhead does not appear as an ordinary child. He appears as he is. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, he appears by his own internal potency, Atma Maya. And how does he appear? He appears when pleased by the worship of a devotee. A devotee may ask the Lord to appear as her son. The Lord is already sitting within the heart, and if he comes out from the body of a devotee, it does not mean that the particular woman becomes his mother in the material sense. He is always there, but in order to please his devotee, he appears as her son. Omagyanatmirandasya Gyananjana Saksharam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manavishtam Sampayena Swayam Rupa Tadamayam Tadati Smakadam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Ram Shri Guru Vishram Shri Ram Sakraja Sahagana Krishna Chaitanya Sri Ram Krishna Sahagana Sri Vishakam Vancha Kalpana Jai Sri Vishnu Nitya Shri Advaita Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome to morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. We have been discussing from third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, wherein Swayambhava Manu and his wife Shatarupa have offered their daughter Devati to one great sage, Kardam Muni, who was residing in forest with absolutely no care for his material body and life. While serving her husband, Devavati was raised as a princess in the palace of Swayambhava Manu, performed severe austerities similar to her husband. So she was equal match to her husband. And then husband, after years, when he found that his wife was engaged in thus severe austerities, he was surprised. And then he asked for her desire. Then she obviously wanted children. So then in that section we are discussing here, this chapter. Earlier in the third verse he says, you have undertaken sacred vows, God will bless you. Hence you should worship the Lord with great faith. Those through sensory control, religious observances, austerities and gifts of your money in charity. The personality of Godhead being worshipped by you will spread my name and fame. He will vanquish the knot of your heart by becoming your son and teaching knowledge of Brahman. And in today's verse, which states, Devahutyapi Sandesham Gauravena Prajapate Samyak Shraddhaya Purusham Kotastam Abhajat Guru. Shri Maitreya said Devahuti was fully faithful and respectful toward the direction of her husband, Kardam, who was one of the Prajapatis or the generators of human beings in the universe. To great sage, she thus began to worship the master of the universe, the supreme personality of Godhead, who is situated in everyone's heart. So Prabhupada has two parts in the purport. We'll focus on the first part, that is serving the spiritual master and thereby getting the supreme personality of Godhead. So Prabhupada very nicely is bringing out that point that spiritual realization is very important. So we understand we are not a body, we are spirit, soul. We come from Vaikuntha world, the place free of miseries, and we suffer in this material world. The way to get out of this world is to again surrender to the Supreme Lord, and by His blessings one can go back, reunite in the spiritual world with His service and continue rendering service eternally in the spiritual world. That is our eternal nature, Satchidananda. We are eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss. And for that, most important factor is the mercy of the spiritual master. Because Krishna does not give himself directly. He gives through the agency of the spiritual master. One has to submit, as he says in the fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Tadvidhi Pranipaten, Pariprashnena Sevaya, Upadekshanti Te Jnanam, Jnaninas Tattvadarshana. One should humbly submit to a spiritual master, inquire from him, and serve him. As one inquires, one will get to know how to perform devotional service, the science of devotional service. And one should execute it for all of his life till he gets fully purified, being able to go back to God. So that's the process. So here the disciple is Devavati, who has her spiritual master in the form of her husband only, who is Kardam Muni. So there are three things like Krishna and devotee, then Guru and spiritual, Guru and disciple, and husband and wife. So these are all similar only. So one is subordinate, one is superior. Krishna is superior, Guru is superior, husband is superior. Devotee is inferior, is subordinate, disciple is subordinate, and wife is subordinate. So if the approach is appropriate, as is directed in the scriptures, one can reach all perfection. In the world today, a lot of talk about freedom and being superior. Superiority complex is very high. For that matter, so many people are rebelling. That is our original nature only. We have original nature means original mistake that we rebelled against Krishna. Ichha dvesha samuddhena dvandva mohena bharata. Rebelling against Krishna's supremacy, we come to this material world. So Jiva will continue to go on with that superiority complex. In the world today, it is becoming quite prominent. They even say, just few decades back in the West, they would say the me generation. The youngsters would feel, I am great. Who cares for the previous generation? Hell with them. We don't listen to anyone above 30. So by exerting arrogance like that, one cannot reach perfection. Those Western modern boys or girls, boys and girls, when they did like that, then they were on the streets, they were hippies. But by the Lord's grace, when Prabhupada went there in 1965, and because they had experienced everything, they had tried everything, nothing worked out. But when they went and approached Srila Prabhupada, they subordinated themselves to Prabhupada, then they reached perfection. They became powerful leaders. And so many subordinated themselves to such leaders because they were always subordinated. They were always acting as subordinates to Srila Prabhupada. So that is the way. Only by subordination one can reach perfection, not by being superior. Even those who are leaders in Krishna consciousness or elsewhere, they always act as servant leaders. That I am the servant of my spiritual master, but he expects me to lead this group of devotees. So what do I know? All that I know is based on what my spiritual master has awarded me. I am insignificant. So that approach will only lead to perfection. So here, Devavati has that approach. One can imagine the contrast in her life. I doubt even a man can do like this, raised as a prince or princess, and after in youthful days, after marriage, undergo such severe austerities, not eating for several days, no care absolutely of the body, whether bathing, combing hair, nothing is there in her life. Complete, it's like North Pole and South Pole. Sometimes some people are raised only in poor family. When they come and some austerities has to be performed in devotional service, not a big deal. They're used to it to a great extent. But for Devoti, it was a big challenge. But because of her love, her respect for her husband, she could win, she could conquer his heart. So conquering the heart of the spiritual master is the most important thing in spiritual life. And how does one conquer the spiritual master's heart and thereby get the Lord in one's heart? That is by hearing and executing the spiritual life as per his direction. So here it is a Devahoti api sandesham. What message she got, direction she got? Gauravena Prajapate, with great respect from Prajapati. Prajapate. Samyak Shraddhaya Purusham, with great faith, having faith in his words, she worshipped Purusham, Kutastam Abhajat Guru, who is most worshipable Lord. So that is the process. In Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto also, Acharyas explain how did Mother Devaki get Krishna as her son. So at one point of time, while in the jail given by Kamsa, both of them were there. So when Krishna appeared in the heart of Vasudeva, he became very effulgent. Seeing the effulgence of her husband, Devaki was curious and she asked, "My dear husband, what makes you so effulgent? I'm surprised how you look so beautiful and so effulgent. Then what are you experiencing? Could you please tell me?" Then he's telling what he's experiencing in his own heart. So Krishna has appeared in the heart of Vasudeva. So he's telling, I'm seeing a very tender, beautiful, bluish boy with locks of curly hair, and his eyes are like lotus petals, his lips are like bimba fruit, and he's so charming. He's describing the whole body beauty of Krishna. So seeing that, hearing that, Mother Devaki is completely enraptured. She's completely absorbed in that, hearing that description. And when that happens, then Krishna is coming to the lips of Vasudeva, and through the ears of Devaki, he enters in the heart of Mother Devaki. And from there, he goes to her womb. So this, our acharyas have told, is the process of initiation. From the lips of the spiritual master, he emanates the transcendental Shabda Brahma, the sound of the flute, the fifth note of Lord Krishna. As Krishna is famous for playing on his flute, the fifth note particularly, through which he calls gopis for having Ras Leela with him. So then same flute sound, it enters in the ears of Brahma, and Brahma brings it out in the form of Vedic knowledge. And then the Vedic knowledge is coming in Parampara. Through the lips of the spiritual master receives from his spiritual master through the ears. And then spiritual master emanates the same Shabda Brahma, transcendental sound vibration, through his lips, which a disciple should receive through his ears. That's why the mercy of the spiritual master is obtained through the medium of ears by the disciple. Many times a disciple becomes emotional and he feels, oh, if only spiritual master looks at me, or maybe pat on my back, or those who are in the male body, they expect embraced by the spiritual master. Sometimes the spiritual master may do some of these things, one of these things, with some disciples who are quite close, intimate, and serving very sincerely. But it is not necessarily be the fortune of everyone, and that's not the way of Krishna consciousness at all. Prabhupada makes it very clear in Kardam Muni and Swayambhu Manu section. One of the purports, Prabhupada says the favor of the spiritual master is obtained through no other organ but the ears. So disciples should be very clear. My approach to my spiritual master is I should be completely open ears. Ears should be wide open, and I should hear him very attentively. And then what instruction I have achieved, obtained, that I should execute. That is the way. So one should not be just a sentimental follower or a disciple. One should become mature and be able to capture the Vani, Guru Vani. That's why it said, Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Guriya Aikya Arana Gauriha Mane Asha. So no other desire. So many desires the disciples carry, and then that will lead to ruination of their spiritual advancement. So though one has taken initiation from spiritual master, it's not the end. That is the beginning. Initiation. English word is very nice. Diksha is very nice word, undoubtedly, Sanskrit. But sometimes Diksha appears like one-time event. Go to spiritual master, Diksha means something is given, beads are given, name is given, over. Diksha is over. No. Initiation. English word is very nice in that sense. It is the beginning of spiritual life, not the end. Like a boy has taken admission in IIT Bombay. So it's not that he became engineer. No, he's going to become engineer after 4 years, provided he goes to college, provided he gives exams, studies properly, and passes in the exam. Then only. So that is to be done very nicely. One should hear, like Mother Devaki heard, and then Krishna appeared in her heart, and then eventually in the womb. So that is how one should approach. Here, Prabhupada is saying very nicely. Spiritual master is one who instructs one on how to achieve spiritual perfection. Only by the grace of spiritual master one could achieve perfection. Otherwise, one cannot approach Krishna directly and say that I am your servant, I am your great devotee. That doesn't work. Krishna doesn't entertain. As Prabhupada says, just like manufacturer you cannot purchase, let's say, Kelvinator, refrigerator. You cannot go to the manufacturing unit, factory, and say, I want one Kelvinator refrigerator. They'll say, no, go to the agent, our salesman, like that. Then also you cannot go to wholesaler also. Wholesaler also will say, oh, one we don't. At least you should purchase 10, 15 or if possible 100. You cannot have one. For that you have to go to retailer only. So the retailers are like devotees. So, but it can be compared to spiritual master also. So spiritual master is the representative of the Supreme Personality of God. He is having that power of atonement to empower the disciple with Krishna Shakti. So that's how one has to approach Guru. And Guru is one who can achieve, he can award that spiritual perfection to the disciple. As in Bhagavatam it is said, Guru nasasyat svajano nasasyat Pita nasasyat janani nasasyat Daivam natasyat napatischa sasyat Namo chayet yadi samupetam mrityum. So one is not Guru, one is not relative to his other relatives. One is not father, one is not mother, one is not husband, one is not delivering demigod, unless he is able to deliver his dependents from the cycle of birth and death. So in fact, on behalf of Guru, it is the responsibility of all others also. On behalf of Krishna, whether Guru or husband, mother, father, everybody is supposed to act like a Guru for their subordinates. So we have great responsibility in that respect. We find in the case of Mukunda Sarkar, the younger brother of Narahari Sarkar from Sri Khanda, Desh, Sri Khanda, where there are so many devotees of Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One of them is Narhari Sarkar, who was very close to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his friend only, slightly elder to him in age. And he was the only one in the associates of Mahaprabhu who could directly glorify Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Krishna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nobody else would dare. And his service was to wave the chamar or Mahaprabhu. Nara Hariyadi Kori Chamara Dhulaya Sanjaya Mukunda Vasu Goshadigaya. So he would do that service. So his younger brother was Mukunda Sarkar, who was great devotee of the Lord. And his son, he was married. They were staying in Shrikhanda. He had his own deities, Radha Gopinathji. And they had a son, Raghunandan. So one point of time when suddenly Mukunda Sarkar was called by the government, by the king, he had to go, but then he had to offer bhoga to the home deities. But he could not be present, so he asked his son, Raghunandan, that could you offer bhoga to the Lord? He said, how to offer? So he taught him. You have to take the bhoga your mother will give, go to the Gopinath, in front of the Gopinath, keep the plate, and you ring the bell and chant, Mo Brahmanya Devaya, Go Brahmanya Hitaya Cha, Jagatitaya Krishnaya, Govindaya Namo Namaha. So then Krishna will eat, and then you can bring the plate to your mother. So he said, okay. Father went for his service. Then Raghunandan got the plate of bhoga by his mother. Then he brought it in front of Gopinathji. He closed the doors. And then he did exactly what his father had told, offered the prayer while ringing the bell. Then he waited for the Lord to eat. The Lord is not eating, he's just standing, playing on his flute. So then, after some few minutes, 5-10 minutes, then Raghunandan said, oh Lord, please eat. I offered the prayers. What is now delaying? So then, no response. Then again, it's Lord, please. So time, it will become cold. It's hot now. So then, Lord is not doing anything. Then he was so much, he started crying only. Oh Lord, please. My father told I must offer this bhoga to you. So then Gopinath was forced to speak. He said, oh Raghunandan, I have already eaten. Just by my glance only. All my senses have the capacity to perform the functions of other senses. Yeah, that is how can you do that? We eat with mouth only. We have to eat with mouth like that. So then so much pleading and crying, then God said, okay. He sat down, he removed, kept the food down, he ate the whole bhoga, and he again washed his mouth. He stood up, he kept his food playing. Then Raghunandan was very happy. Okay. Yeah. So he brought the plate and gave to mother, saying, Mother said, where is Prasad? God ate everything. And so innocently he said that, mother was wondering. I don't think he's telling lies. But then what happened? He says, Lord ate. How can he eat? Then in the evening, when Mukund Sarkar came back, wife told her husband, Mukund Sarkar, that this is what happened. God knows what happened. I don't know. So then he told her, you again cook some laddus. Let's see what happens. Then laddus were cooked and they were given to, again, Raghunandan, my father said, again, Raghunandan, you go and offer this to the Lord. So again he went, but this time Mukund Sarkar was hiding behind. Through one gap in the window, he was watching what is happening inside. And again the same story was repeated. He was crying so much. Then again Lord said, oh Mukund, now Raghunandan, I had eaten some time back. I'm okay now. He says, no, you have to eat. Again, my father has told. Then again Lord took the laddu. And he said he ate half only. And remaining half is still there in Srikhanda village for us to take darshan of that Mahaprasad. And this time when Mukunda Sarkar saw, he was into tears. What amazing son I have, who is so much in love with Krishna that Gopinath eats foodstuffs offered by him. So one point of time when Mukunda Sarkar had gone to Puri Dham with son Raghunandan, Mahaprabhu, when he saw both of them coming, immediately Mahaprabhu asked, so Mukund, are you the father and Raghunandan your son? Or is Raghunandan the father and you the son? Ordinary father will say, father, I have produced. But Mukund Sarkar was so humble and such a great pure devotee of the Lord. He said, oh Lord, Raghunandan is my father and I am his son. Lord said, yes. Anybody who inspires us in our spiritual life is our father. spiritual father, spiritual master. So true. So we can see how anybody who gives us inspiration in spiritual life is to be accepted as the spiritual master. So for wife, husband is supposed to act as spiritual master. So in the world today, how many husbands are acting as spiritual masters for wife? Yeah, maybe they are acting as masters, not spiritual master, trying to boss our wives and trying to guide her, lead her to much better sense gratification with each other as well as together. So that is not husband at all. Like putra, Prabhupada gives a definition of the word putra. Nama narakat rayate iti putraha. One who delivers his father from the hell, father and mother from the hell called put. Such a person can call himself as putra of a particular father. Nowadays, so many people get married and there on the invitation, the marriage invitation, marriage cards, it is written there. And Chiranjeev so and so, the man's name. The son of Suputra, in case Suputra is getting married to Chiranjeev Saubhagyavati Kanta, the girl's name, and Suputri of so and so. So what Suputra? He is not even Putra. He doesn't even know that he's supposed to deliver his father from the hell called Put. The father is most likely to go to hell. Not only Put hell, many other hells. He'll have all one after other in sequence. Yamadutas and Yamaraj will arrive. And this fellow, he's also following in the footsteps of his father. He's also going to go through all those hells like that, with absolutely no capacity to take his father out of cycle of birth and death or from the hell. So it is useless to call oneself as Putra or Suputra, or to call oneself as husband. It is all spiritual life or Vedic life means with heavy responsibility. Everybody has a heavy responsibility. It is not a life of sense gratification. It is quite a sober life. If only one knows and realizes what responsibility is there on my shoulder, one will fear to become take such a low role. Like Bhaktisant Thakur, our own spiritual master, our Prabhupada's spiritual master, he said, if only I can produce Krishna conscious child or children, then I will have hundreds of children. But I cannot even produce one Krishna conscious child. So better I remain a brahmachari. So absolute honesty. That doesn't mean that everybody should follow that. In a sense, one should qualify. Some sannyasis are required, some brahmacharis are required. But those who are getting married, becoming husband, they should know that they have very heavy responsibility. They have to be very Krishna conscious. Just by seeing the husband, wife should feel Krishna conscious. Wow, what a husband. He's not a husband, he's a master. He exactly, perfectly represents my spiritual master. Like that should be the understanding of the wife. So for that, husband has a great responsibility. That's why the husband in earlier time should have gone through brahmachari life from the age of 5 till whatever, 20, 25. So that he has gained that Krishna consciousness from his spiritual master in the Gurukul. And then when he marries, then he is so Krishna conscious, becomes very ideal inspiration, role model for the wife. So husband is supposed to be very highly enlightened. Then Brahman also talks about Stree. So that has to be understood properly. Many times it can be just what do you call it? Just for fun or for mockery, one may just keep addressing women as less intelligent. Here it is said. So women, Stree word also is meaning is given as one who expands the field of material activities. That means one is very mad for material enjoyment, and that's how it is said that when a man is alone, he can just live anywhere here and there. But as soon as a wife comes, then immediately he needs a house. Atha griha kshetra, he will require some field. Griha kshetra sutra, children will come. After relatives will come. So the vittaya, money is required. So many things come in a man's life as soon as he marries one woman. And so a woman is one who expands the field of material activities. And also why women are considered less intelligent? Because of the attachment. Anybody who is attached to anything material, he becomes fool. So women, what happens? Because they are attached to their all family, father, mother, sister, and all that. And after marriage, there is another family now, husband's family. Husband's father, husband's mother, husband's brother, sister. So they are attached to two families, two set of families. So much attachment. Husband may marry, but he may not have so much attraction for
his in-laws. Okay, okay, she comes from there, so that's fine. But I don't like my in-laws and all that. So because for him it is not so important. Okay, only I got my wife through them, but otherwise, okay, fine. He may not want to. Some may be attached to in-laws like that. In Kali Yuga, that is a symptom. One of the 55 symptoms that are given in the 12th canto, third chapter or 12th canto. There it is said that the man will be more attached and will glorify his in-laws more than his father and mother. He will not have, he will be kind of sending them to old age homes and he will speak of his in-laws in a very big way. So this is symptom of Kali Yuga. So that is applicable now. May not be for this 10,000 golden era period. But otherwise, the husband may not want so much. But the woman in particular has attachment to both the sides. Then it's a big problem. Then such a person will be called as fool because attachment. Anybody who becomes attached, he becomes foolish. He's less intelligent. Just like we find in the case of Kailas. He was so attached to his wife, children. He's man in the man's body, but he became less intelligent. Ultimately, Narad Muni had to get the snake killed. Kailas in the body of snake had to be killed, and then forcefully Narad Muni took him. Otherwise, it's not possible. But this is not applicable for women who are devotees. Like we find so many Matajis who surrendered their lives to Prabhupada, like Malti Mataji. You can take her example. So Malti Mataji, she was married to Shyam Sundar Prabhu, and for the sake of preaching Krishna consciousness, Shyam Sundar Prabhu had the idea to start preaching in England, London. So then when he expressed his idea to Prabhupada, Prabhupada said, yes, that is very good. Though London's glory, aura is a bit reduced. Earlier, London was so big, or England, they're British. They said that sun never sets in British Empire because they had their kingdom everywhere, their colonies everywhere. But eventually, America took upper hand, became big. But even then, England had its glory. So Prabhupada wanted that. So then they went, see, 3 couples. So one of them was Malti Mataji. And Malti Mataji had a 6 months old Saraswati as her daughter. So who is the lady who will go for preaching program to altogether a different country, continent, with a 6 months old daughter? And not that there were very high class facilities over there. And nothing there. In fact, for going also, they don't have money. So one couple went by very third class plane to London, and then they sent the money on the account of the next couple because they have to show while entering that we have enough money with us. And then this couple went by the next plane, and then they transferred the money to the account of the third couple, and they showed again at that we have money. With money, we are entering in England, and then they entered. What daring! Amazing. And after going there, there are hardly any facility. There's no facility only. They were staying in cardboard thing. The main would be on this side, and in between just a curtain and the 3 women with the daughter Saraswati. And that's all. No privacy. Generally, grahasthas means they require privacy. Brahmachari life means, in the words of His Grace Gaurang Prabhu, is a general hospital, a general ward, government hospital, big ward together. Possible where 10 brahmacharis are staying will fit in 25 brahmacharis. Unless they cry like anything, which war against authorities. So that is the way everywhere. But then grahasthas means require, even the man requires, Prabhu requires so much of privacy. What to speak of women. But here there was no privacy for them. But they were so enthusiastic. Similarly, Yamuna Mataji also. Malti Mataji, we can say, she had won the heart of Prabhupada so much. In Mayapur, when Prabhupada also, Lotus building was not there. And Prabhupada was staying in Prabhupada Kutir, what we know, simple hut, which is currently present in front of the Samadhi of Prabhupada. So that's where Malti Mataji had just a small section, and she would daily go walking to what is that ghat called? The last ghat, not Prabhupada ghat, the last ghat. She would go there, and from there she catch a boat to cross Ganges, go to Navadvip town. And from market, she would purchase sabji. And because she is fair complexioned lady, it's very clear she's a foreigner. So Indian shopkeepers, they would try to raise the rate and would tell her more rate, and she would bargain, no, not this, what this. So then afterwards, after bargaining, she would get the sabji. She would again come to the ghat, then catch boat, then come to this side, again come walking. So much of endeavor, so much of, and she was tired of all that. So when difficulties, people were trying to cheat and all that. So then one point of time she thought, it's enough. I want to give up this service. I'll tell Prabhupada, I just can't do. You find out somebody else. So she thought this is the last. So she came, and that day exactly Prabhupada's some God brothers had come. Sannyasi God brothers, 2, 3, 4 of them. From Mayapur, because Mayapur, so many other Gaudiya Maths are there. So they had come and they were served prasadam. They were taking prasadam along with Prabhupada. When she came to serve something, so that time Prabhupada was, because they had always objection that you have foreign disciples, they know no etiquette, they are not so dedicated and they are lecture basically. That kind of notion was there. They might not spell it out, but that was there. So then Prabhupada, in order to remove that misconception, Prabhupada said when she came, you see, she is Malti. Understood? His disciple. She has so much love for me that she can slit her throat for my service. And I will also slit my throat for her. And God brothers were stunned. And Malti Mataji was, my God, what Prabhupada is saying? That she can slit her throat for me, and I can slit my throat for her. That means so much we love each other. So she immediately, all that desire that she was about to tell that day to Prabhupada that I am giving up the service. She immediately that desire evaporated completely. She understood Prabhupada loves us so much. So then she never told Prabhupada, but she told us later on that how she was getting frustrated in service. So much service, there was no time only for oneself. So we can see Malti Mataji, we can see Yamuna Mataji when she sang with the Beatles that Govindam Adi Purusha. So when it was played in the temple, some temple, so sannyasis and brahmacharis had objection that brahmacharis and sannyasis should not hear woman's voice. It is not recommended in the scriptures. So we should not have this Govindam Adi Purusha. We should have maybe some male or something else. When Prabhupada heard that, Prabhupada said, this is not some woman's voice. This is transcendental symphony coming from Vaikuntha or brahmacharis. And Prabhupada, in those days only, Prabhupada said, Yamuna is in the Bhava Bhakti stage, the Bhava stage. Those days. So you'll imagine later on which stage she might have reached. Obviously, last stage is Prem only. But those days only she got certificate from Prabhupada that she is in the Bhava stage. Like that. So one should not, in fact, so much. Once when Prabhupada was in the property of George Harrison, our temple, London temple, Bury place. Bhaktivedanta Manor. So it's a huge, not only property is huge, but around the garden is also quite big. So Prabhupada was taking morning walk kind of, along with Guru Das Prabhu and Yamuna Mataji. So one point of time while walking, Prabhupada was wearing kind of gumboots, so huge. So one point of time, one stone entered in the gumboot and it was inside. And as Prabhupada is walking, the stone is pricking inside the gumboot only. So then Prabhupada told them that, and Guru Das Prabhu was in front. They both were walking, Prabhupada and Yamuna Mataji, and he was clicking photos of Prabhupada walking. We have those photos also. So one point of time, Prabhupada told them that there is a stone that has entered and it is pricking. Then they said, Prabhupada, then Yamuna Mataji said, Prabhupada, I will remove that. Prabhupada said, okay. So then she bent down and Prabhupada kept his hands on her shoulders. And he picked up, because he needs support, so he picked up his foot up and she removed the gumboot and she removed the stone and again gave. And this photo was clicked. And that time Prabhupada says, if only my God brothers in India see this photo, they will be, there will be revolution kind of like that. So Prabhupada had such like daughter, a granddaughter, he treated. And he never said to them or charged them saying that you are less intelligent, not even once. One point of time in one temple or some temples, it was the brahmacharis and sannyasis became kind of fanatical and all that. They developed wrong understanding, wrong realization, wrong message of the scriptures because of such statement. So they were so antagonistic or so averse to women when the Mataji will be coming from temple and they are going this way. The route is the same. So as they would see the ladies are coming, Mataji, then they would spit on the road and they would turn the route and go to some other direction, though they were supposed to go that direction. So much hatred, so much aversion. Women, less intelligent, they would directly call like that. So then some of the Matajis felt very hurt. They went to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, is it true that we women are less intelligent? Prabhupada said, yes. My God. Till now, others were saying, you can understand the immature fellows. Prabhupada is father. And Prabhupada only said, yes. Prabhupada said, yes, because you think you are women. So many times I told you are not male or female or man or you are not body, you are spirit, soul. So Prabhupada was transcendental and could not tolerate anyone. In fact, once His Holiness Bhaktitirtha Swami Maharaj also, because though he was in male body, but because he was African American, black body. So though temple he joined as a brahmachari, there also the brahmacharis would whisper, he's the black fellow. Something they would say, and which was unavoidably would fall on his ears also. So he was also very disturbed. So one point of time when Prabhupada said, he went to Prabhupada, he said, what kind of disciples you have? They criticize me for being in black body like that. Prabhupada said, you are a fool. Who they may say like that, but why are you getting disturbed? Did you not hear me saying that we are not bodies, we are spirit soul? They are fools when they say that he is black fellows. But why are you becoming foolish by getting hurt by them? So he also got just. He also cooled. So one should not discriminate just because of this superficial, external bodies. When we focus too much on the body, that means we could be very likely in the bodily concept of life. So that should not be the case. And for women, the message is, or for that matter, men also, the message is not to become attached to anything material or anyone material. You should be attached to only Krishna, Guru, and Vaishnavas, like that. And attachment is spiritually attached, not material. For husband, it is said he should be affectionate to his wife, but not attached. That means not attached to the body of the wife and the pleasure that one gets with the body of the wife. So the services of the wife. One should think oneself, I am Krishna Das, she is Krishna Dasi. Krishna has sent her to me for engaging her in Krishna's service. That is my duty towards her. Otherwise, if one just is in the body concept of life, whether in the man body, woman body, so they act foolishly. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says women are put in the lower category, but not only women are put in lower category, Striyo Vaishyas Tatha Shudras Tepi Antim Parangati. What is that? Mam hi partha vyapashrita ye api syu papayona. Striyo Vaishyas Tatha Shudras Tepi Antim Parangati. So Striyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras, women, Vaishyas, mercantile people, and Shudras, laborer class. So they are all considered Papayoni. That means sinful. Sinful because of the desire to enjoy. So one should not have any desire to enjoy. One should only have desire to serve. That is our original nature. Jivara Swarupa, Krishna and Nitya Das. So in the Prabhupada is also quoting in the purport the example of Sati and Shiva. Shiva acted as the spiritual master for Parvati. So Parvati's case is fine. So many times Parvati is inquiring from Lord Shiva. But my dear husband, whose name are you chanting? I see you carrying beads and always chanting. So then he says, Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Vistulyam Rama Nama Varanani. Always chant the name of my master, Lord Ram. Sankarshan. I chant his name. So she is fine. But earlier life when she was Sati, again she committed the mistake. We know the pastime in 4th canto. When Daksha was not happy to have Shiva as his son-in-law. Because Shiva is very poor, ragged clothes, not good. But because Brahma, his father, had told him, you must marry your daughter Sati to Shiva, he was forced to. But in that yajna, when he had called everyone, when Shiva did not stand up in respecting Daksha became so wild, angry, he insulted Shiva. Shiva was undisturbed because Amanina Manadin. He left that place. Next time again, when another sacrifice was arranged, there was absolutely no invitation for Lord Shiva. But then Sati saw that so many demigods are going with their consorts, beautifully, nicely dressed. They are going. Plus, so many of my sisters have gone. I want to go there. she was attached to the family from where she came. We find in the devotee's case, there is no mention anywhere that after getting married, she going back to Swambhu Manu's kingdom and meeting mother, brother, father. That is not described anywhere. Rather, she picked up the austerity so severely. But in the case of Sati, she unfortunately she revealed her heart to Shiva. That so many are going, why not we go? Said we have no invitation. So for our near and dear ones, there is no invitation required. So it's like when sister is getting married, there is no invitation required for the brother. It's understood as the same family. So like that logic she's using. She was said, no, you know he doesn't like your father doesn't like me. And he particularly addresses her as Dakshayani, daughter of Daksha. That means because she's identifying too much with the father. After marriage, the wife should not identify with her father and mother and all that. She should know my life is with my husband only. He's my end all and be all. He's my master, he's my wealth, he's my everything. Obviously, the husband should be of that caliber, should be a great pure devotee of the Lord or quite advanced devotee. Otherwise, he's Bakka materialist, and then wife is thinking he's my master and all that. So that is not appropriate. So then she became angry. It is said in the Bhagavatam. She kind of wanted to burn Lord Shiva with her anger oozing out of her eyes. And still, without the permission, blessing of the husband, she sat and Nandi and started going. She took her parrot, started going. Then immediately Shiva indicated his Ganas, his associates, go behind her. There is likely to be some disaster. You need to protect her. So they also went. But then ultimately what happened? After going there, first she rejected her husband. After going there, she so much concerned that husband is not given any honor of him. That was already revealed by husband of her, that there won't be any honor given to me. There is no invitation only. Why are you going? But then she went foolishly because of attachment. So because of that, then she could not tolerate. She spoke ill words and so many things. And ultimately she decided to give up that body because of the connection. The body was received from father who was not respecting Lord Shiva. So then she sat in yogic meditation, produced fire from body by her yogic powers and burnt herself. And the Ganas could do nothing to protect her. At once everything happened. And then they created destruction there. But Sati was destroyed. She had to give up that body. So one should not act foolishly like that, being attached to materialistic family, people, and anyone, materially anything and anyone. That should not be there. So Prabhupada in the purport also says, he quotes 2.41, Vyavasayatmika buddhi, ekeha kuru nandana, bahushakhai anantasya buddhayo avyavasana. Particularly the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, which I want to read it out. It's very important because Prabhupada, it is said, he derived a lot of inspiration from this purport. Prabhupada himself writes that this was kind of revolutionary for Prabhupada, and this what inspired him to go ultimately to Western countries when he was not so successful materially preaching in India. He said, so I want to read out what inspired Prabhupada. So the translation given by Srila Vishwanath Thakur is, resolute intelligence is only one in this process, O son of the Gurus. The intelligence of those who are irresolute has many branches of action and unlimited desires. Purport of Vishwanath Thakur. Moreover, among all types of intelligence, that intelligence concentrated on Bhakti Yoga is the best. Resolute intelligence fixed in Bhakti Yoga is only one. The meaning of this is illustrated as follows. So this is in quote, very nice quote, you hear attentively. My sadhan is to serve the lotus feet of the Lord, to remember and glorify Him as instructed by my Guru. This is my sadhan. To serve, remember and glorify the Lord as instructed by my Guru. That is also my goal, sadhya. The end and the means are the same. After going there also, this is what will be continued eternally. Now also I am doing the same. And after going to Golok Vrindavan, same thing. That is also my goal. It is my life sustaining medicine, for I cannot give up the sadhan and the sadhya. This is my most desirable object, my duty, and nothing else is my duty. Nothing else is desired, even in dreams. There may be happiness or sorrow. Samsara may be destroyed or may not be destroyed. that is no loss for me. Let there only be resolute intelligence fixed in pure. The purport goes ahead, but I just want to highlight this part. So this inspired Prabhupada, where he's saying, just to serve the lotus feet of the Lord, remember and glorify the Lord, as instructed by my Guru. So this was the inspiration for Prabhupada, as Prabhupada himself has told that. So how much we should also be focused on serving Srila Prabhupada and our spiritual masters. Prabhupada's books should be read daily. Otherwise, our intelligence will be covered, will be like fog will gather, Maya will create illusion, and then we will go off track. In a sense, mind will not be concentrated in spiritual activities. So we have to do that. We have to focus on the instructions of the spiritual master. In the Prabhupada's purport, so many places he quotes that verse from Shvetashvatara Upanishad or Mundaka Upanishad. Yaste deve para bhaktir yatha deve tatha guru tassaite kathita yartha prakashante mahatmanah. So he's saying only unto those great souls who have implicit faith both in the Supreme Personal Godhead Krishna and spiritual master. All the imports of Vedic knowledge are automatically revealed. So in Prabhupada's life, his Guru Bhakti is very strikingly visible, very openly, very clearly visible. That's why we have this Samsara Davan, starting our Mangalati with that. Early morning we get up, the first thing that comes out of our mouth is Gurvashtakam, which is glorification of the spiritual master, which is not so much the trend in other Gaudiya muds. They have this, what do you call, Vibhavarishesha and other things like that. Only in our Krishna Balram temple, because it will be otherwise objectionable, we have it. There also, anyway, Prabhupada's Samadhi, in Samadhi there is that Mangalati is done, or Gurvashtakam is sung there. So we can see Prabhupada is genius everywhere. So many instances are there in which we find Prabhupada's Guru Bhakti. When asked about his spiritual master, Prabhupada said, what can I say about my spiritual master? He was Vaikuntha man. And so many places. Prabhupada himself has spoken about Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur glories. Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur himself, I think last time I had told, when once he was crossing Ganges in a boat with some young devotee. So he said, oh, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur ji, you are so glorious. You have preached so amazingly. Though you are disciple of Gaur Kishodas Babaji. That means he demeaned the position of Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj, which Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur immediately detected, and he immediately corrected that person by saying, you see, I am like this motor, because the boat was run by motor. So he said, I am like this motor which makes so much of noise. But unless the battery, which is not visible and which is not producing any noise, it's completely silent. Unless that battery gives charge to this motor won't function. So without the blessings of my spiritual master, Srila Gaur Kishore Babaji Maharaj, I am useless. I am just producing noise. That's why I may be appearing, doing big things. But my spiritual master appears to be silent. But without him, I am speechless, I am hopeless, I have no gati. I cannot reach any destination. So the love for the spiritual master is the topmost thing for advancement in spiritual life. And the love should be exhibited by hearing regularly. Submission, pranipad, pariprashna, and seva. So how much we inquire from spiritual master? So that is a very important question. We may say very spiritual master. He doesn't come to our place. No. Vani is the eternal. That's what we already discussed. The favor of the spiritual master is obtained through no other organ but the ears. Prabhupada has made it very clear. The process is hearing. So any doubt we have, any question we have while practicing Krishna consciousness sincerely, we'll find if we hear the lecture of the spiritual master, he's addressing. Where even material. I was recently hearing one lecture of his Sundar Shyam Maharaj. So it was 1997, I'm hearing in series from 89 to 97. So it was Udupi Yatra, and I was wondering in 97 I was practicing, I was chanting 16 rounds. How did I not go for this Yatra, Udupi Yatra? I was not remembering. 97 is long before in one sense. So I was wondering how I did not go for that Yatra. 97 I went to Pandharpur Yatra. So I was wondering, so I heard that lecture, but every time it would get interrupted and again I would start from the beginning. So after 2-3 times hearing the same lecture, once I went till the end, and towards the end Maharaj says there that I will not speak much today because devotees, there is Yatra in Pandharpur from tomorrow onwards. and you are already tired. So I will not speak much. Sorry for that. Like that is. Then I understood. Oh, this was just before Pandharpur Yatra, and because I was a student, so for me 2 yatras one after other. And I've been bunking college so much. Would have been too much. And Pandharpur Yatra was for 1.5 day only. So I remember that very clearly. So I was thinking the question I had was answered by Guru Maharaj only. Only thing I had to do was continue hearing, which I did and got the answer. And like that, so many times we'll find that. Once there was some problem in the tooth somewhere, it was paining. I was wondering, what is it? So some 2-3 days passed and pain was continuing. So I thought, let me see what it is. So then I went with the lecture of Maharaj. And I was hearing that lecture. I went and hanged that mobile in one place. And there are mirrors there in the bathrooms. I switched on the tube and I opened my mouth to see what is it visible something. And that time Maharaj said, what can we understand about this material body? We can understand nothing. Then I closed my mouth, washed my finger, and I came down. Answer was given. What is the problem? You cannot understand. But if too much pain, one can go to doctor. He may understand something about the body. If at all, he does understand. Otherwise, he is a bigger in ignorance than us. But otherwise, he may have some knowledge. But basically, hearing him is very important. Regular hearing. Those who hear the speech master regularly, they will never fall in illusion, any kind of illusion. Otherwise, Maya is very cunning, very subtle, very amazing. He is after all Krishna's Maya. Mama Maya Duratya. Insurmountable. Nobody can cross her. Nobody has crossed her. Only Krishna can come and pick one up from that ocean of birth and death. Otherwise, surpassing Maya is not possible. So that's why one should hear spiritual master regularly. All one's questions, doubts, queries, everything will be answered to full satisfaction. And when cleared of all the doubts and all that, then one can very blissfully practice Krishna consciousness. One should feel the presence of the spiritual master all the time. As Srila Prabhupada himself said, never was there a time when I was not with my spiritual master. Always. Though he made this statement in the Western countries after 1960. And by then itself, Bhaktivinoda Thakur left in 1936, 36 to 66, itself is 30 years. But Prabhupada always was in touch. He always took the instruction of the spiritual master very seriously. And even in his Grihastha days, so many times after 1922, also, after that first visit, he would regularly associate with his god brothers and inquire from him, Bhakti Rakshak Siddha Swami Maharaj in Kolkata. He had given them, because there so much of faction that took place in Gaudiya Mutt. The court case was going on over the property, lot of things. So that time, these sincere souls, disciples of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, they were left with nothing. They had no matter. So Prabhupada gave them, because he was staying in Kolkata, one floor up above his house. There was one floor. So he gave place for them, and there was a board kept there, Gaudiya Mutt, and the preaching was going on from the rented place. Prabhupada or whatever, Prabhupada gave them free of cost. Every day, Prabhupada at 7 o'clock or so, he would go up there and would discuss with Bhakti Rakshak Siddha Swami Maharaj, his god brother, about the message, the commentaries of his spiritual master on Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, etc. Sometimes discussion would go on for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, and it would become quite late, 12 o'clock, 7 o'clock onwards till 12 o'clock. So the disciple, the servant, personal servant of Bhakti Rakshak Siddha Maharaj, he was becoming very disturbed. What is this? Guru Maharaj has not taken prasad. And unless he takes prasad, how could I take prasad? So one point of time, it became very troublesome. Then he came and they both were discussing something from the commentaries of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So he said, how long you will discuss like this? It's too late. Now please take prasad. And then they said, oh really, it's too late. Whatever, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Then they said, okay, fine. So he had his hidden agenda. They must have understood, not so hidden anyway. Because he cannot take food prasadam without spiritual master taking. So Prabhupada was genius. Prabhupada always made pleasing the spiritual master as his only goal, as it is said here also. Satisfaction of the self-realized spiritual master leads to all success in the disciples' life. So that is what they will be achieved. What is the success that is given in the next verse, 6th verse? Tasyam bahutithe kale Bhagavan Madhusudanaham Kardamam Viryam Apanno Jaggir Agniriva Daruni. Then through the semen of Kardam Muni, Lord personally entered in the womb of Mother Devahuti because of her sincere service to her spiritual master who was in the form of her husband, Kardam Muni. So we could also reach all perfection if only we make this as the only goal of our life. Hearing the words emanating from the lotus leaves of my spiritual master is my only hope, is my only goal. I have no other desire. Okay, any question? There is one nice book, Spiritual Master and Disciple. How many of you have read? Prabhupada's quotes, different places, not quotes, whatever is there in purports, it excerpts from Prabhupada's. Nobody had read it. Very nice book. Like everything about the relationship of spiritual master and disciple in one book itself. All those things are already, and there are so many hundreds or maybe thousands. Very nice book. You may read it. Otherwise, read all the books of Prabhupada. It is taken from there. One of the two. Yes.
Okay to see whether this service has increased or continue whether
We should keep on continuing anyway, but it is reflected when the spiritual master is pleased or not. We see our superiors are pleased or not. They are representing him only. And apart from that, you will be ecstatic in spiritual. You will be very blissful if you are following in the footsteps of your spiritual master as per his instruction. And if you deviate, you will be miserable for sure. Just like Sita Devi, the Adi Guru Lakshman, he drew the Lakshman Rekha around that kutir and said, "You just be within this." And it was not like a very small kutir is there, and immediately then it was quite a big one. So there are some scope, some freedom, what you call, some space for her. But then she went outside of his instruction. Why? And what she thought, she did not hear him. What she thought, this sannyasi, Ravan came and said, he tried to come inside, the fire was burning his foot. He understood this lady is given protection by somebody. I cannot kidnap her by going close to her. She has to come out of this protective field. So he said, my dear lady, how can you say call a sadhu to give bhiksha? Should a grahastha go to sadhu and give bhiksha, or call a sadhu to your place and give bhiksha? So grahastha dharma says that you should go and give. It is a Tadvindi Pranipad. One should approach spiritual master, not that you tell spiritual master, come. That is one of the problem with this screen thing. In your home only the spiritual master is coming, or his representative is coming. You are not going to temple, you are not going to spiritual master. You are calling him on the screen. I would tell my father many times. He said, on channel nowadays, so many channels are there and so many spiritual speakers are speaking there. I said, this is not proper because you are not going to them. You are calling them on the screen. They become your servants. So you should go, approach. Physically, it is required like that. So then she thought, yeah, true. Grahastha should go to sadhus and give. So she crossed. So instruction of the spiritual master is topmost. But she accepted the ulterior dharma of a grahastha. And she crossed the border. At once she got kidnapped. And then for next 10 months she was miserable. The one was Ashok one. But what was she undergoing? Shoka. Continuous shoka. Crying, crying, crying. Nothing else was there in her life. So anybody who crosses the border set by the spiritual master, he will be miserable. Anybody who remains within that, he will be ecstatic. So it's a direct proof. Anytime or any long period of time you are following this spiritual master, you have to be blissful. Misery is only because of not following him. So that is the realization of so many Prabhupada disciples who left Prabhupada. Like, we'll not take names, but so many of them, they left Prabhupada. During Prabhupada time, some of them, many others later on, they became miserable. Right? Hare Krishna.
How reading and reading, how we can relate reading?
Reading is recorded sound only. As far as Prabhupada books are concerned, Prabhupada would directly speak it out in the dicta form. I don't know whether those things are still might be there. But that's what the disciples heard, they typed it out, then editing happened, this happened, and then printing happened. That's what it is. Just a recorded sound only. Those who are little higher in consciousness, they can, just by reading Prabhupada books, hear Prabhupada. And in case we feel, no, I'm not on such level, I'm not able to hear Prabhupada, then you may hear Prabhupada's lectures also. But the books are the ultimate authority. Because sometimes Prabhupada in the context may speaks this thing here and some other time something in. But in the books, you get absolute knowledge in all circumstances which is applicable.
But you example of Devki and Vasudev by hearing one.
Yes.
So, it can also be done by reading.
Yeah, I told already. It's a recorded sound. You are hearing Prabhupada directly when you are reading his books. Prabhupada said, I will never die. I will remain in two places. In my books and in the hearts of my sincere followers. So if you have some sincere follower or followers, you may hear them. That is fine. But if not, then Prabhupada is there available for you. You get Prabhupada through those sincere followers or you get him directly through books. You can clearly get us in Prabhupada. And you can see also how you will be inspired in spiritual life. You just read daily Prabhupada books at least for 1 hour. If possible, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think 17 hours we could read. Max. If you want to sleep for 6 hours, 1 hour for other material needs. It's very nice. Consciousness will be completely inundated with Krishna. Krishna. You will be floating in the Krishna Sagar. Krishna's Nam Sagar, Krishna's Roop Sagar, Gun Sagar, Leela Sagar. That power is there. Yes. Any other? Hare Krishna.
Like you suggested to reduce material attachments, which will make us weak.
Bhagavatam is suggesting. He is saying, Prasannam Ajram Pasham Atmano Kavayo Vidhu Sayeva Sadhu Shukruto Moksha Dwaram Apaham. We are on 24th chapter, 5th verse. So this is just next chapter, 25th chapter, 20th verse. So very soon you would hear about that also. So he says the attachment in this world is primary. It will finish off one's existence in a sense. One will keep continuing in the cycle of birth and death. But same attachment when doubted to a sadhu, Sayeva Sadhu Shukruto, Moksha Dwaram Apaham. The doors of liberation will become wide open. So attachment to material things has to be good. That is possible when we become spiritual, have spiritual attachment.
At this stage, Prabhuji, to what extent our detachment should be with
Full extent, 108%. Not at this stage and that stage, all stages. Don't have separate material life. We don't have material. Devotees don't have material. Manasa deho geho jo kichumo arti tuapate tanda kishu. Your body, your mind, your house, everything that is so to say mine, O Lord, offer at your lotus feet. So your body may have some disease, you can go to doctor. So that Krishna's property, this body which is given to me, will be set right and could serve better or could serve more. Don't think it is your property. Your house is not your property. Your plan for MS in US is not your property. It should be offered in Krishna's service. The money I got, the money is Krishna's money, not mine. When the money is earned, nowadays everything is virtual only, everything is on the account only, you get nothing, no cash comes in the hand. But like in earlier times, if the cash comes, you can keep it in the altar at the lotus feet, whatever the deities, photos of deities. So Lord, everything is yours. And for your temple running, that is house, I take some money. So that should be understood. I have heard, though I have not read, but I have heard that Bhaktivinoda Thakur's disciples, he would be sitting on the assassin table like this, and here Prabhuji husbands and here Mataji wives, like that. And husband would come and keep all the money on the table, his monthly salary. Guru Maharaj on the service of Mat Krishna. And then his wife would be here. Then he would ask, so how much is your monthly expenditure? She will tell, like, whatever, 100 rupees. Okay, take that much. Then the next husband will come. He will keep all the salary there at the table. And he will ask the wife, how much is the monthly? I want to read it out. I don't know where it is. I have not heard. It will become more authentic if I come across where it is. Like that. But it's very nice principle. Only all Grihasthas in ISKCON follow that line. But I think in India we'll have more than 1,000 temples. Now all the Grihasthas put together have a lot of temples. So it's ये अंदर की बात है ऐसे वो सोच रहे हैं लेकिन सबको पता है
Fear to become devotees.
Huh?
People will become fear to become devotees.
Exactly. No problem. With the existing devotee will practice. And this inner secret will not tell them in the beginning. Only after 5-10 years of the relationship will privately do it. One has to offer everything, isn't it?
We should have devotees like Rakal Prabhu, fully dedicated to this.
Yes. So we have exemplary devotees here on. So what more you need? Proper disciple, what? They did not earn only. That was the body and whatever activity of the body, the words and thoughts, everything they gave in the Lotus Prabhupada. So Prabhupada's American, foreign and disciples are million times, light years ahead of us. So we may say, I had been going to Krishna temple, Ram temple, I was chanting Hare Krishna. That is all okay, but what is your surrender? Nothing. You're holding on so much. Proper disciples had no so much spiritual exposure. They did not chant Ram, Krishna, Hari or whatever. They did not go to temples. But once surrendered, what was the surrender? Prabhupada was not just like that eulogizing. Prabhupada said, my Grahastha disciples are far superior to sannyasis. It was not just a joke or some casual statement. He meant it. Because these three couples we discussed, how could they go, their country, the continent living and going to another country altogether with nothing for the sake of spreading the mission? How many of us could do that right now also? How many of us can take 40 rupees and go to Western country or Carvation? So, Prabhupada and disciples are far superior. We cannot imagine only. Our only goal should be to serve them. That's all. We can never match with them. So, devotees have no material life. We should not have anything. Even Grahasthas should never think that my life, my wife, my children, my house. No. Everything is Krishna's. Nothing is yours. Krishna is saying in 3rd chapter itself, Nirashir Nirmamo Bhutva Yuddhasva Vikatajvara. Nirasha. Yes, means not Nirasha means hopeless in a sense. No material desire. Arana Koriyo Mani Asha. That's what Krishna is saying. Nirashir Nirmamo. Nirmama. Nothing is mine. Nothing. My body, my intelligence, my mind, my house, my wife, everything is Krishna's. Nirashir Nirmamo Bhutva Yuddhasva. Then you act. Act in pure devotion. And then one can go for a job, one can earn money. And that money is Krishna's money. Wife is Krishna's dasa. Children are Krishna dasas. I am also Krishna's. Like that should be clear understanding. Anytime this clarity is overpowered by the illusory fog, the Grihastha will be in grand illusion. He will separate himself from Guru's mission, and he'll think this is my property, my wife, my children. I have to after all worry about that. Their future, my daughter's future, my son's future, this, that. That's all illusion. All bogus. He is becoming materialistic. You should not think anything is money. This brahmachari stays in ashram and he knows he sold out servant of his spiritual master, sold out animal. Just like cow once sold to another master, she just goes with that master. Not saying, no, that cow should was much better here. Never. Sold is sold. So initiation means one is sold out servant, animal, slave of the spiritual master. Nothing remains of our own after initiation. Everything is Krishna's, Guru's. Should be offered to them. One is allowed to keep it with oneself, with the understanding it is Krishna's. I'm just a caretaker. Anytime asked, should be just like this watch I have. This is temple's watch. Anytime the authorities say, come on, give this watch, I have to support. I cannot say, no. I have been using it for 10 years, 15 years. No question. It is not yours. And not only that watch, but our clothes also. And they remove the kurta. Give it. How to remove? Certainly some gamcha they will allow. They know that you are not Draupadi. Call out to Krishna. Krishna will come in the form of unlimited dhoti. They will not test to that level. But nothing is ours. Nothing. Only one thing is ours. That is desire, which should also be submitted to Krishna. Prabhupada very nicely said. And that young boy said, Swamiji, I want to fully surrender to Krishna. What should I do? Prabhupada said, desire. That's all. One word answer. Not one line. One word. Our desire should be to serve Krishna, to please Krishna. Hari Guru Vaishnava. Yes.
After that, fasting of eating grocery. When Chedamahuru asked me to respect so what this means in our life represent.
All the austerities which are not expected by superiors. He was very austere. He would take only milk, little sometimes fruits like that. He was staying also in jungle and all that. He was very austere, but that is not in accordance with spiritual master. He did not accept any spiritual master. And his austerity, based on his austerities, he wants to see the dancing of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the house of Srivas Thakur. And he's going to Srivas Thakur, but not submitting as disciple. He's just directly telling his desire. It's what you call. It's just so to say appearing surrender, but it's not surrender at all. He's not giving his life. He's only saying that please allow me to be in the house. So I am not qualified. Then Mahaprabhu chastised him, and when he became humble and he glorified or was grateful to Srivas Thakur, oh, by the mercy of Srivas Thakur, I could get to see even glimpse of Mahaprabhu dancing, though I was not qualified. So then that allowed him. He got purified. Then Mahaprabhu accepted him. So all those things which we are doing outside the instruction of the spiritual master, that is all that milk drinking business, which will not lead to pleasure of the spiritual master, which will not lead to the mercy of the Supreme Lord. That's why we have austerities defined by our superiors. We don't do anything else outside of that. We don't have to. What is the use? Austerity is not the goal of life. It can be austerity. What we do only what Guru Parampara has, like Ekadashi fasting. We don't eat grains, all that. Then what is that verse? Yadi Aradhito yadi hari tapasa tato kim. Na aradhito yadi hari tapasa tatakim. If you are worshipping Krishna, what is the need of all other austerities like milk drinking only? That is not required. And na aradhito yadi hari. If you are not worshipping Hari, like that Brahman, he might be worshipping impersonal Brahman, whatever. And then what is the use of all this tapasya? That's why Mahaprabhu chastised, get lost. You think by your drinking milk, you can win me or you can see my dancing. No. Get out. Directly Mahaprabhu corrected in front of everyone. So public insult in one sense. How one would be flaring this dress. I will never come in the midst of this devotee and I'll speak all ill about all. He did not have all that kind of. Very simple. He accepted.
Question. Hare Krishna Prabhuji Dandavat Pranam. My question is that when we hear some instructions from spiritual master which appear impossible, how should we have strong faith just like Srila Prabhupada had faith in his Guru's words?
Nothing is impossible. Like Prabhupada himself said, impossible is the word in fool's diction. And Suja Master is not a fool to give us some impossible instructions. So we have to find out by reading Prabhupada books and all we could know. If not, then we have to approach some seniors and say that Spiritual Master expects me to do this. And I was thinking it is impossible. So what to do? So they will tell what to do. Just like Prabhupada also, Bhaktivinoda Thakur appeared in his dream when he was grasta and said, you want to preach the message of Lord Chaitanya, you should take sannyas. I have a wife, I have 4 children. One of them is mad. Prayagraj was mad. One son. So then, wondering what to do. Then he went to Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Swami Maharaj. And Guru Maharaj is saying like that. And he said, oh, I cannot give you sannyas because I know your wife, I know your children. There will be problem for you. So then he went to Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj. Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj said, yes, Swami Maharaj, Abhay Charanarvind Prabhu. This is very much required. That spiritual master, you want to preach for preaching sannyas is very important. So you should take sannyas. And I will give you sannyas. Prabhupada cries tears on the disappearance day of Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj and says, it was my spiritual master who spoke through Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj. He not only spoke, he just forced me. So I was fearful or reluctant or whatever. So one should approach the superior is senior God brothers or some other senior devotees and ask the spiritual master has given such and such order. What should I do? How should I? What should I do? Understand? Even for that matter, instructions given by the superiors also. Sometimes we may be thinking this is very difficult. Then we should go to some other superiors and inquire from them. Not to get a sanction that they should talk to my this superior and say, no, this service is not. Then what kind of seniors are they? They also are faithless. They don't have that faith. So one should always approach superiors when you are confused. Prabhupada in the purport where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling this was Prakashana Saraswati, the 7th chapter of the first volume of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So there he's saying that when I was given Harinam by my spiritual master, as I started chanting, then the tears started coming from my eyes, hair was standing on it, and I was going mad. So I went to my spiritual master and inquired, Kiba mantra dila gosai, kiba taragal, japite mantra, gorilla pagal. What kind of mantra have you given and what kind of potency does it have? That as I chant the holy name, I'm going mad. Tears are coming and all that. So Prabhupada in the purport, what he says, that whenever one is confused, one should approach spiritual master. Because Mahaprabhu never confused, it's a Krishna only. But so to say, in the past time, he was not understanding what is happening. As I started chanting, tears are coming, hair is standing on it and all that. So then he clarified the matter, put the matter in front of his spiritual master. So similarly, when spiritual master gives instruction and we are confused, we are not clear, we should put the matter in front of some other seniors who give us clarity, who give us the faith, who give us the confidence. You could do it. Don't think it is impossible. Just like Prabhupada's example is fitting, isn't it? Not that Prabhupada thought this is impossible. Prabhupada thought this is difficult. I have my wife, I have children. How could I go ahead? So one should. In fact, when he was with his sister also, Bhavatarani, so she is saying that Prabhupada is elder to her. So she's saying that, see, you want to preach, so you can't take sannyas. Why are you worrying about your children? I am there, my son is a lawyer, he's earning quite good. We will maintain your children. You don't worry. You go ahead. You take sannyas. Sister, Bhavatarani. Can you imagine what a powerful sister? Like that. So that's why years later, when Prayagraj, the son, a mad fellow, so he on the road, he was picking up papers and all, just like mad people you see. So then when Prabhupada got the news about him, his son, through some disciples, some others, like that, then Prabhupada shouts on Bhavatarani, you said you will take care. What are you taking care? He is crazy. Anyway, he was so crazy, difficult to deal with him. She was ready. But we should always approach. Anytime confused, we have to have somebody to approach. Nowadays, we can just send SMS, get the confusion out, or email, call them on phone. Best is physically approaching, but sometimes they may not be around. Right?
Quite subordinate to subordinate. You were saying that they should be exalted, but many times subordinate may think that he may not be exalted.
Exactly. So we have to be very humble and prove your exalted position. Wife may not feel the husband to be exalted. So how should the senior husband should do? The answer is we should be so humbly acting. We should say, I'm a fool number one. There is no fool like me. So I feel really my husband is so humble. He's really very exalted. The husband thinks, what nonsense? You say I'm not exalted? So he proves himself to be really below patal, at the bottom of Garbhodakshakar. Yeah, so the senior has to prove. Not that I am exalted, he has to prove through his qualities. What attracts us in other devotees there are their qualities, not their beauty, not their name. That is superficial. Their qualities. So the seniors have to have such qualities. And in case, whatever the reason, because of the ignorance of the subordinate, he is not respecting them properly. Still the subordinate, the superior should be taking it in a humble way. And then the person will cool down. Not with the goal to prove that I am exalted. Like when I'll tell, in our temple, one of the brahmacharis, saffron brahmachari, went to another saffron brahmachari and said, something about me. What? Sundar Shyam Das, he takes advantage of so many people, so many things. He engages everyone as a servant. Somebody cooks for him and somebody serving him, somebody washing his clothes, so many things like that. He was telling the other brahmachari, saffron brahmachari. I was not present. So then the other brahmachari was stunned in a sense, he was not knowing what to, and that person was shouting like anything. So then after that brahmachari told me privately, no, this is what that brahmachari is saying about you. I was feeling so bad, but I could not say anything. I said, see, he's like your younger brother. You are senior. So he's your younger brother. So younger brother sometimes commits mistake. You should not take it seriously. You should forgive him. Don't become upset, disturbed. Don't do it. You pray for him. Pray for him that he comes out of all this malice that he has in his heart. That's all. And then he was wondering how you are not out there to disturb. So many people will keep saying so many things about this. So, isn't it? We should not worry about it. So one has to take things very humbly. That is very pleasing to the Lord. In fact, Mahaprabhu has said before defeating Digvijay Pandit that Palavanta Vrukshara Gunavanta Jan Namrata Se Taharan Swabhava Anukshan. The trees laden with very nice fruits and men, people with nice qualities, good qualities. Namrata, humility is their quality at every moment. Namrata Se Tahar Swabhava Anukshan. This is their nature at every moment. So if somebody shouts on us, says you're a rascal, you're a fool, so take it in a humble way. Yes, true. Or if you say, he said you're a murk. Oh, no, don't glorify me. No, I'm saying you're a fool. Don't glorify. What glorify? I'm saying you're a fool. I am Mahamurk. How can you glorify me by saying I'm a fool? Don't glorify, please. All these fuels will blow up. What is the problem? Isn't it? Like somebody comes now and slaps me on the face. What is the problem? Okay, cheeks will become red. How long? For eternity. The body only will not remain to have red cheeks. After 5-10 hours, cheeks will be normal. Okay, some swelling may happen. After 5-10 days, the swelling will go. So why to bother? So all sugar should be given up by all the superiors. Then the subordinates will understand, okay. Otherwise, just by distributing more books, collecting more funds, starting many new programs, getting many people to chant 16. You cannot say that I am so exalted. I have proved my exaltedness. How dare of you to say I am not exalted? You have to subordinate yourself in front of me. That is foolishness of the superior. You should take it in a humble way. Isn't it? Prabhupada, when he was giving that lecture and somebody stood up and said, what? You think, because Prabhupada spoke about Varnas, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So what do you think? You are Brahmana, huh? You are the topmost? Prabhupada said, no, I am the 5th class. I am the servant of all of them. That man said, so Prabhupada never spoke about 5th class. He only spoke 1st class Brahmana, 2nd class Kshatriya, 3rd class Vaishya, 4th class Shudras. Prabhupada said, I am 5th class. Will all of them, servant of them, he said. But Prabhupada would speak different than them. One man suddenly got up and says, so Swamiji, are you able to see God at every moment? Prabhupada said, yes, but only you are obstructing now. Please sit down. Prabhupada, amazing. One boy in one university, big university, he stood up and he said, why do you have this ponytail backside of your head hanging there behind? Prabhupada immediately said, why do you hang that tie around your neck there? He picked up the tie and he was watching and he was not having any answer. Prabhupada said, sit down. That lady reporter, scantily dressed, miniskirt, and she asked, Swamiji, why do you shave your head? Prabhupada said, why do you shave your legs? And she was confused. She was looking at her bare skin, whatever. And Prabhupada said, better to have cool head and warm legs by covering the legs. Amazing. And one reporter asked, so, Swamiji, what is hell like? Probably London is hell. One senior devotee, a temple president of Delhi temple, Mohan Prabhu, he was telling when Gandhiji went to London, he was so impressed. And he give a talk saying that, London is so amazing, we should have, like in India, it should be, attempts should be made to make India like London. And Prabhupada went to London and saying London is hell. What better understanding you want up there? You are in London, you are experiencing hell. No other place to go. London is hell. This is Acharya. Not getting impressed by the material nature. One who gets impressed by material nature, he is an illusion. Maya fooled such a big leader, but Prabhupada is never under it. London is hell. I heard that one disciple gave some $108,000 check to Prabhupada. Prabhupada was sitting on the Vasasana. So Prabhupada, and he thought such a big amount I am giving, Prabhupada will be impressed. And Prabhupada looked at the check, the amount was written huge. Prabhupada looked at him and Prabhupada said, you could have given 109. That means this is very less. Prabhupada detected the pride in the heart and smashed it at once with that one sentence. So we should always be surrounded by such devotees who will puncture the balloon, inflated balloon of our thoughts. Anyway, that was Prabhupada's Leela. Any question?
So you said that as a what do you say, leader or guru, he has responsibility towards his subordinate. So if the subordinate is not accepting his superiority, then how can he be able to guide him? So he has responsibility towards his subordinate to avoid it.
Yeah, so we should be exemplary and preach to others then who could listen to. Others, those who are not ready to listen, what could be done?
From his responsibility in this case, subordinate is not
He is continuing to set example by one's own action. More things are caught than taught. So example is better than precept. So he continues to remain exemplary in his